No, I'm cool for a bit. I want to learn from you guys. I wanted to ask something actually.
Go
Is
for it. Go for it.
like I'm in a position to get stuff out across terrestrial radio in various different countries and online. And like, how, what would you say to me? Like, cover this or cover that or get this out there. Does anybody want to, jump in and give me some direction on, like, put something on the map your end, or for a generation, or for the vets, or for a something?
Oh,
Because I'd like to
that's
do that.
Well, I think this is James McCormick here in West Virginia. I love hearing what you were saying, especially about all of these things that are happening without our knowledge, because we have become a society that just takes what's fed to us, and if we're comfortable, and that's not just in America, that's around the world, as you have pointed out very eloquently. I think if there's anything that you could do is to continue that message, to let people know about some of these things, like the UN, these treaties that occur that become law for people in the United States, in Canada, in the UK, and we not have a say in it. That's very important. That's a very vital piece of freedom that we can all appreciate, that we should all be, know something about before it occurs, so that we have an opportunity to utilize whatever resources we have in each country to oppose that, to speak out against it. So, yeah, that would be the one thing I would say. And I appreciate all the great things that you're doing. And I'll definitely put you on my list of listening to radio shows that I have. Thank you.
You're very kind to say thank you. I kind of do. So I think I see the importance as you do, and I think people would want to know that there is a mechanism in place, as they call it, a democracy, that audits into each, like every nation on earth. Well, no, if they sign or ratify the treaty. And if no one's ever looked up the meaning of ratify, go and look up the meaning. It's actually quite a crazy thing. I'm not going to sort of paraphrase it, but if you look at the exact meaning of what ratification means, it's really quite shocking. If I could call you James. James, sure, I do hammer it home. The problem with this kind of content is quite a grown up thing. So I try and reimagine it and reimagine. I don't know where I got that from. I reformat it so I can repeat it for regular listeners and it doesn't get boring. Like I said, we've got a preaching to the choir problem, and that's where the formatting comes in. So I'll rewrite the formats to for people that are just dropping in. So it's a quick drop. I'll put it in between somewhere. I'll format it in a segment with a sound. I use a lot of sound bites, and I reformat it in from the horse's mouth. Is the approach really? So I'm on board with that because I think people would really like to know. If you ask someone or a government minister, who is the plenary for our country? I bet they don't know, James.
Oh, I bet you're right. I know you're right. And I like how you say to reformat it. We always say to put it on a level that everybody can understand. It's not to insult the intelligent, but it's to help educate those that maybe have not achieved that level of understanding, and to be able to put it in a so for instance, Greg's talking about the generational gaps. The younger generation that hears that, they just that's just some noise. It doesn't bother us. It's happening in some other country. It doesn't really affect me. And we have to be able to point out, this is how this affects you, and not only you, but your short-term future. So most of them are thinking, what am I going to do when I graduate college, or what am I going to do when I graduate high school? Well, if you are limited in your ability to work for, say, energy companies that produce gas, oil, and coal, well, you're probably looking at tens of thousands of fewer jobs out there and fewer opportunities. Now, the kickback on that, oh, but you'll have all these green energy opportunities. And if you really look at some of those opportunities are very few and far between. And I think the only opportunity that will be available is going to be, the opportunity to take whatever the government gives you, live on it, and think that you're going to be happy with it. And I think that's ultimately the goal here. It's a control mechanism to be able to control the people. You control the people by controlling how much money they make, who they go to the doctor to, when they can go, how they can go, and it really, really is becoming prevalent in a lot of places. So, thank you again for that, and I really appreciate what you're doing.